Hello chums, I'm Colonel Failure and you're watching Transport Fever in a Metropolis kind of style, and as is traditional, we start where we finished last time around, and we've got a queue of trains waiting to do a train thing. I have made a couple of slight adjustments since you were last here, and you'll see those relatively quickly. Following on from everybody suggesting that I'd pretty much killed the capacity on my commuter line, first thing I did was I doubled up all of these trains. Some of them might still be on auto replace at the moment, but they're all kind of making it happen. And as you can see, we do have something of a backlog of trains coming through. Now there are 10 on this route now, and I was operating under the false expectation that that would be the right number for them to space out rather splendidly. The problem comes when you reach Sioux Falls here. As you can see, we've got one coming in now, jolly slowly. In fact, as it hits the platform, chances are it'll speed up a bit as it goes down towards its unloading booth. But that's because it has a very long way to go in order to reach the unloading booth. And then it has to go back again. So that amount of time, coupled with the fact that I've speed limited the track here, has meant that there is a bit of a bottleneck. As you can see, you've got a few building up. Now, I've not seen it build up to more than 3 waiting at any one time, and that's something, I guess. But as you can see, it's moving along nicely, and it's running at pretty much 100% capacity, and hopefully that should turn a nice profit in the fullness of time. Hopefully. We use the word hopefully, because that's all we can be. Hold on, what are you waiting for? Oh, you're waiting for the main line to go through. The main line, once I've replaced it with something newish, which I'm not doing today, once I've replaced it with something newish, should whiz through there at a much better rate. We're still going to have an interesting queuing setup going on here, though, and I look forward to seeing that in motion. Good. Right. Tell you what, let's get the intro out of the way, and then we'll crack on to brighter and bolder things. Right then, the brighter and bolder things in question take place here at Hub 2. We're currently sat alongside the ore train as it goes to pick up yet another load. And what I've noticed so far is actually that the amount of production we've got going on is picking up quite nicely and quite regularly, which is good. We'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm just, enjoying the view for a sec. Electrification notwithstanding. But it's always worth soaking it in for a moment. There we go, we've soaked it. But as you can see, over here at Log Central, we do have plenty of logs ready for action as the crocodile comes in. One electric train at the moment. I've upped the capacity on that to 240 now because the backlog is, what's it sat at? 600. So I figured there was probably no harm or less than no harm in actually taking some of that and making a delivery or two. Come on, in order to keep the narrative flowing, let's get moving again. I didn't want to leave before you'd had your moment in the sun. Come on, trot on. There we go, and it's rolling out. Look, as if on cue. Lovely. Good. Right. Yeah. So that's making a good delivery. It's only been set up that way for maybe a couple of weeks at most, and then as you can see, we've got plenty of logs waiting to be shipped. And then the other good news story around here is this big fella here, which is possibly due an upgrade because it's starting to get to be quite a lengthy beast. 50 odd kilometers an hour. I don't know how much more have you got for me here. I mean, this is what's going to be powered by a rather splendid modern European electric or some heavy diesels in the future. But right now it's it's not slouching. It could be a little faster, and the speed is only important. I mean, yes, you do get a bit more money out of a faster train, but more so to keep the spice flowing. Otherwise, how does one expect to fold space on a regular basis? There is plenty to be delivered, and it may well be worth my time actually upping the frequency on that by adding a second train. as we have a look here. So lumber processing, 383 waiting, beautiful. And that's international steel delivery, and as you can see, we've got over 200 waiting there to be shipped out. The international consumer goods bulk is underperforming a little right now, but it won't do in the fullness of time once we actually start getting the throughput on these materials going swimmingly. Okay, good. Everyone up to speed? Nice. Let's get on with some actual building today. Now then, I've had a notion, and that notion is Wolverhampton. We don't currently deliver goods there, so that's one thing that I want to do. But more than that is I've got a plan. I've got a scheme, and it may end up costing a lot of money. Not all at once, but on a regular basis, as I'm not sure it's going to do anything. But where would we be were it not for occasional experimentation and the associated disaster? So right, we're going to go with electrified terminal type station, unless I fancy doing anything a little bit more exciting than that. Do I fancy doing anything more exciting than that? I don't know. We want the Second Street connection. That's somewhat pivotal to the scheme that I have up my sleeve. I think about there may just do the trick. It may. But as you can see, the track's going to come down here and then hook onto this one and then head out to the whatever it is, hub. That's where it's going to hook out to. Actually, before I get too deeply ingrained into building this track, we'll have a quick look at the scale of the cities that we've got going on at the moment. And I'll tell you what else, I want 2 tracks on there, not 1, for reasons that will become appropriate, no, apparent. That's the right word. That will become apparent presently. Right, now, one thing at a time. That's that place. We'll carry on with that in a moment. Let's have a look at the size of the cities, because we haven't done that in a little while. Krakow is number 1, having broken the 2,000 mark, with Brussels, I would say, nipping at its heels, but actually it's 400 back, so it's not nipping at anything. Then El Paso, Indianapolis, Dortmund. Sioux Falls, surprisingly, is quite low down. And then Grand Junction and Wolverhampton are quite low down as well. The one's big surprise, though, is Vancouver. Wellington being bottom doesn't surprise me at all, but Vancouver has actually been getting a good amount of goods for quite some time. So I think in an upcoming episode, I'm going to have to turn my attention to the Couve here and do something to up the tempo on its profit making. I mean, it's not that it's lacking passengers, right? But it's only got 3 lines, and the number of lines hitting different destinations tends to have quite a radical effect on how things grow. So we're going to keep an eye on that, or rather, we're going to do something about that. Rill will probably benefit at the same time. Possibly Wolverhampton will benefit at the same time, but not as much as it will do from the incoming goodsplosion that we're about to drop on it like it's hot. I've no idea what I'm talking about. Right, let's put this at 160. We'll go with standard distance between the poles, and off we jolly well go. Now, I can make this single track most of the way, so I will, because we're only going to run 1 train up there, although it is quite a distance, so, you know, there may be the temptation to do something more exciting with it. Oh, what are we doing with having a passenger rail in the way? I don't think there's any way I could have got around that. Well, are we going to go under or over, or are we going to do another? Now, you know what? I've done too many train-based level crossings in recent times, so I'm going to have a stab at bridging over the top of this, because bridges are cool. Now then, I'm going to regret this quite quickly. Oh, look at all of the... I should play with these, you know. They're too much fun not to be played with. Where is my flying junction type deal? That's a bridge, which is not what we want. Does it even live here? Because I'm about to suggest it possibly doesn't. We've got a very nice compact tunnel entry, which is very groovy. And possibly I should use that. I was fairly certain it was here, you know. If not there, is it under track? On waypoints? On signals? No. Is it under passenger stations? You see, now you might be, there you go. Right, okay, so what I need this to do is something good. Now that, what we've got here, so something like, let's look at the pictures. Looking at the pictures, something like this one is going to do that, right? And then obviously if we spin it around appropriately, that's radically unhelpful. Hold on, spin it around the other way. No, there's no joy there either. All right, because it's got rotational symmetry, look. Okay, fine. Well, all we need to do is just adjust the angle. I'm going in. Wish me luck. Right, no, that's speed. Upper track type, fine. What's next? Electrification. We'll do both because we'll probably need it on both at some point. Number of lower tracks, 2. Number of upper tracks. I'm tempted to go 1. I may regret that later. Crossing angle, let's try 80. Now you're talking. Actually, and 80 might not be great. Let's think that through. If we go for like 40, which is half of it, and then no, see, if I could just press the mirror button, everything would be stupendous all of a sudden. Curse this rotational nonsense. Or maybe there's a, hold on, what if we hit the plus button? What if the plus button is just there, +9? Because we don't know exactly what that does. We assume that since it says crossing angles, this has got something to do with angles. Nope. 7. No, not 7. Look, I'm pointing at the screen here. All I want you to do is just go the other way, right? And how difficult is that? Because as it stands, maybe I'm just using the wrong one. Maybe there is a reversed version. Maybe there's a button that says reverse it further down. Please hold. Form, terror, bridge. Next, form, bridge. Always bridge. Mirrored, thank you. There we go. That's got it. Brilliant. And it's because there's a whole lot of extra stuff that's been added in here to cope with the different track options that you've got. That it means that you end up, fighting the power. Right. Okay. So now I think if we go for a bit of, to be honest, that top deck is jolly long. But if I put a bit of curve on it. There we go. We're going again, look. Upper tracks, 800. There you go. Except I only want to do one end. I really don't need to do both ends. Can we do just one end rather than both? There you go. Here we go. We're all terribly excited to be doing this again. And yes, upper tracks length, lower tracks length, 60. No, upper tracks. When you said upper tracks, it seems to have only done one end. Maybe I'm only looking at, yes, it's transition A. Lower tracks at length, we'll go 60 and 60. And then transition B, slope, yes, length, upper 60, lower 60. Good, well that's that sorted. And now all I need to do, general slope, what I want is curve A. Curve A, radius of upper tracks, radius of lower tracks. No, I just want curve A. Just curve A is all I need. I don't need curve A and curve B. Just curve A. Come on, I want to move on. Pronto. Radius of lower tracks, radius of upper tracks. Okay, well let's do that, and then we'll just make it work, because making it work is no, that's rubbish. We'll just do that, and then we'll make it work. And it's going to live about there. All right. Okay. Good. Come back to that in a second. Get your bulldozer out. Are you telling me we're going to bulldoze this perfectly formed level crossing? Well, no, we're probably not. Let's do it just before. Let's do it just before the level crossing. there's the hazard light of much woe has lit itself. There we go. Right, now you sit here like that. I'm not thrilled with this. I would have quite liked to... It looks great, though. I would have quite liked to be able to bend that a little bit more on just one side. But, you know, life is what it is. And in fact, you don't need to tell me. I think one of the others has got that level of flexibility. But, you know, I've committed now, and I've spent enough time faffing with it, so let's just crack on. Right, 160 with some of that action. In fact, we'll turn the electrification off for this. There you go. You go up there. You come back down here. Flashing light disappears. It's like magic. And then we'll treat you to something from the modern era. There you go. It's called electricity. Hope you enjoy it. Right, now then, we can now proceed to hook this this Topley beast up to something appropriate. So if we carry on around the corner like that. Again, you see, if I'd have been able to bend this a little, we wouldn't be making this kind of manoeuvre right now. I'm going to stop complaining about it any second, all right? But I'm pretty sure I've got it mostly out of my system now. And flung. Groovy. Okay, that's not so bad. And then from here, we're going to go like this. I love track building where I don't really care how much it costs. Now then, there isn't a need for you to be carving out a ruddy great gouge from the landscape there, is there? Now, as long as we keep the speed up 160, then everything will be many splendid. There you go, that should about do it. Right, then we can take a more or less straight shot up this way. There we go. How does that look? That looks pretty adequate. And then we get round onto... Hold on. Whoa. This doesn't get you onto the main goods line at all. You want to be going for this one here. Oh, I just built that really nice piece of straight track. Well, you're going to have to unmake it, aren't you? Go from about there. Oh, that makes me sad. I was quite pleased with how lovely that was looking. But you know, c'est la vie. Right, let's make it look like we haven't just made a big mess of that. You can't see that, can you? No, I certainly can't. Right, okay, so in that case, if we're coming in this way, then we ought to connect up with the existing system. I'll tell you what, we're going to have a look at exciting points, track ladders, no. Switches, no. Underground tracks, it's not underground tracks. Parallel tracks, no, it's not that either. It might be a bit of a track ladder. But is it? Well, it's probably not, to be fair. Turnout number 12. Doesn't really look like 12, does it? I imagine it may well be if I make it a bit longer. Altitude adjustment. In other news, this isn't actually what I need it to do anyway. All right, no. Don't just start playing with stuff because you want to play with it. Actually, that's the perfect way to play with it. But start playing with it when it makes sense to do so. Now then, can I get a track under here? Yes. Then you should. Right, and then going out this way. Stop it. There you go. Why have you made that bendy? That's not me complaining to the game at all. That's me complaining to myself. I made it bendy. The game was merely an innocent bystander. There you go. Connect up onto there. Right, and then we can stick a level crossing in here before this starts complaining that it can't get to a road. Although why it would want to get to a road, I can do everything for it by train. Pass all the roads I'm never going to use. And here we go, small country road. Right, get across there, onto here, everybody's happy. Stop your flashing, if indeed you were flashing. I'll tell you what, because I'm in that kind of mood, switch these. Oh my giddy aunt. Oh, I hadn't anticipated the... Sure, let's have one of those. There you go. Groovy. Good. Now let's close this. Someone needs to work on their modification menu. Right. Good. Yes. And then we something. Is this a road to nowhere? It is a road to nowhere. This is clearly one of those moments where I said, oh, I'll connect that back up later on. Meanwhile, I have built a very nice bridge. Yes, it is very nice. Pat yourself on the back for that, but it doesn't go anywhere. Cease. Thank you. Right, now then. Let's put a humpback crossing on there and then connect onto that one. And that then is somewhat connected to things. There we are. I don't know what this is for, but I've built it, so you know, we should celebrate such things. Now then, building the junction out here. Now we're going to need to electrify this lot, given that we're coming this way. So if I take a, that's really not what I had in mind. If I take a, yeah, that is what I had in mind. Right, we're going to need to delete back a bit for this to work, but it will be worth it. Thank you, autosave. You've turned up at just the right moment. I certainly didn't think the game had crashed. No, sir. Right, here we go. And like so. That's hideous. All right, well, you said you were going to delete back a little. So it's going to have to be quite a little, because you don't have an awful lot of wiggle room here. Right, there we are. Slap that onto there. How does that look? Horrible. Good. Well, horrible was really what I was aiming for. Okay, maybe not be snapped here would be beneficial. Now, if I stick a waypoint there, can I just get rid of that tiny little bit at the end? I don't think I can. I think it's still going to try and get rid of all of it. But maybe that will help. Right, try from... No, it's not going to let me get that, is it? No, it's not. I'll come on, play the game. Come on. There's a game to be played. I want you to play it. All right, okay, we'll do it again. Right, so snap point is there. And then, where's the other end? Oh, I've lost it. It's disappeared. No, you haven't lost it. It's there. There you go. That's much better. Use that. Good show. Right, and then with the other one, we'll do the same thing in a parallel motif. All right, so something akin to this, which we shall then merge accordingly. Now, I know what you're saying. What you're saying is, you know, you don't need to do that, right? You could just double slip that number over there and then everything would be amazing. This is true. However, because I've got a cunning wheeze that I'm working on here, and no, I'm not going to now regret having not double-tracked that flying junction, I do want a little bit more queuing space. I do want a little bit less than that queuing space. There we go. Right. May or may not be necessary. We will find out in due course. Excellent. Right, now then, let's continue our electrification hijinks here and get everything on this section upgraded. Got a rather perplexed-looking steam train coming through, going, "What are all these cables, Klaus?" I don't know. His friend hasn't got a name. Nuts. I got as far as Klaus, felt pleased with myself, didn't go any further than that. Never mind. Right, let's keep all of this efficient and orderly. Now, I'm pretty sure all of this is 160 already, but if it isn't, it is now. And that will suit us down to the ground. I'll leave the last section pretty much alone, because anything could happen if I don't do that. There you go. Yeah, marvellous. I thought you were leaving these alone. Yeah, I know, but see, now they're a different colour, and therefore I've got to fix them. There's rules to this stuff. Sold. Right, excellent. Now we're in position for actual delivery of goods and what have you, which will flow fluidly, as flowing things have a habit of doing, up to the station here. Easy peasy. I made a bit of a meal of that, if I'm honest, but you know, that's okay. I'll live. I'm sure you will too, and we'll all live merrily together under the one roof of YouTube. Now then, shall I get that rolling now? Yes, because it's going to take a little while before it's in situ. So let's make that happen. Did you have a particular platform thought out? Of course I didn't. We're going to improvise, and then up to Wolverhampton. There we go. Transfer. Good name for it. So this is going to be WLV. No, WOLV. Yeah. Goods. Yes. There you go. Because traditional names are the best ones. Now, it's currently shown up in this dirty brown. Let's turn it into a bit of turquoise so that we can see what his plan is. Plan appears to be going up and down on the same side of the track. No, Jeff, can't have that. No, sir. No, we can't. No, that's just not what we want. You appear to have tried something clever there, and that's gone badly for you. So what we're going to need to do is add another waypoint here. That is this one. There you go. And again, I'm okay. That works. It is certainly in the spirit of how these things are intended, I think. Did I not one-way these? I didn't, did I? Okay. So, you're coming this way, you're coming this way. So, I've got up, down, which I think is where I decided the smart money lay. Yes, right, okay. Fine. And who else is sharing this platform with you? Which lucky devil is getting to have a go on this one? Alright, let's zoom right in. And then we can just see the doodah itself. So you've got turquoise, which apparently I can set. Hold on, just show me visible. There we are. Right, coal delivery is on black, which is there. International consumer red, yeah. Purple, yes. Green, yeah. And now turquoise. Okay, you've found an empty platform and you've made it your own. Well, I can't argue with that. Top hole. Right, let's go get a train going. Where am I sending it out from? Let's send it out from the goods hub, because that's always chaotic. Hang on, can you do that with an electrified train? No, see, your electric's not going to get very far once you get to here. Then how did I do it with the crocodile? Oh, you cheated and used a replacement. Oh, I don't want to electrify all of this. All right, I've got a workaround. It's all good. I've got an idea. Yeah, you're all going to like it. It's a good idea. Right, buy trains. Yes. What do we got? We got anything diesel that will do the job yet? I'm not going to put the Alco on it. It's too expensive for a giggle like this. This Bow here, Bow. Yes, almost certainly Bow Raya. Bow Raya. Why not? It's not quite got the grunt for the number of... It doesn't need grunt. You just need to send the train. All right, we'll send it solo, because it might never get used on itself. So we'll send this out. And then we'll cheat and replace it for the appropriate alternative once it reaches its destination. Off you go. That's a workaround, that is. Right. And emerge. There we go. You know what? I should use more of these. Look at that. That's brilliant. Love it. That's fabulous. Meanwhile, Great Western haven't given up on us. They're still throwing out more. They've got all of these to choose from. And then we've got some more Russians. But we've got the early electrics here is what I'm chasing after. Yeah, this is terrifically good fun. Yeah, I like this one. I mean, it's not helpful. It's not gonna sort me out for whatever it was that I wanted sorting out here. But it's a fun little number nonetheless. Oh, and it's punching its way along quite nicely. How fast are you going here? Okay. And for some reason, luck is on its side, and there is nothing in the way to interfere with its progress out of the depot area. Well, that's a modern miracle. That is. Off you go. Are we just going to, let it scamper ahead and then bring the camera up to speed afterwards? Well, you've got this nice view happening though, haven't you? This is a nice view. Right, okay, now there he goes, he's off. Right, now we'll catch up with that in a bit. Now, meanwhile, incoming on the International Consumer Goods Freight, we have 192 steel, brilliant. Some goods, excellent, a bit of slag, and some planks. Not sure why the planks are coming, but they are anyway. And this is a good length train. Now, it needs upgrading to a big boy with possibly a few more flat cars on it. It's not that it hasn't got enough flat cars on it at the moment. It's just that there's always room for more. And greater mayhem can be achieved by adding more to your already quite long train. See, it is quite long. It's quite a long train, this one. I don't think it's the longest I've got, but it is quite long. Now, I mean, size isn't everything, but that's quite a long train. Right, there we go. He's off and doing his thing. Where's the little diesel that could? Oh, the good news is it's going to show up nice and easy on the overhead, which is a bonus. Right, back to operation. Not sure this is a great idea. Okay, now then, when we get up to this end, we're going to want to make sure that distribution is a thing, because the catchment of this station is woeful. So let's get that sorted. Now then, what have we got? Got a blue hub here, a tiny little scattering of yellow, some really cheap housing, and then odds and ends. And for some reason, that's a pub, that's a corner shop. So I'm going to need something to up me catchment. You know what? I might go with flipping street delivery again, purely because I quite like these street signpost stop effort things. All right, that's the only reason. Not because I don't want to delete anything. I mean, you've known me long enough that you know that I have absolutely no problem with deleting things. Perhaps we should think about the route first. Oh, you and your logic. Right, okay, well, before we do that, let's put a truck stop in. Goods. Let's put a truck stop in. Yes, we're in the right area now? Okay. I think we shall go for the Station Entrepôt Logistique Géodis again, because I like it. My all-time favourite one, though, I can't seem to find it. I'm going to have to go and have a fish round the workshop again and see if I can't dredge it up. Because my favourite truck stop is magnificent. It's the one I used in the last series, I think. Pretty sure I used it in the last series. If not that series, it'll be the one before, where you can have 8,000 trucks all tearing through there at the same time. Because that's what progress smells like. Now then, where are these? They were under passenger stops for no good reason at all. Actually, it's there just to rub my nose in it. Let's go like, yeah, look, it's a passenger stop. It's not a passenger stop. Right, if I put that here, then we get partial coverage on the area we know works, and then impartial coverage on the rest of it, which we could pick up with a second and a third stop, maybe. Would seem to be an idea. Because if we do this with a sense that these are going to grow, then we might get somewhere. Now, I already set up one. I set up one goods route. There you go, with a loop style arrangement, and I've not checked back to see which one it was. If I remember when the time comes, what we'll do is we'll go look through the goods routes that we have previously established. That one, yeah. This one, which is not a bus stop, it's a truck stop. If it were a bus stop, I wouldn't use it. Why don't you just carry on this way? Which side of the road have I put this on? The correct side. Why do you persist in going the wrong way here? Because all you're going to do is get stuck in traffic. So stick on this side of the road, go all the way home. Huh? Yeah? Oh, I'm going to have to investigate one of these road-based waypoint kind of fellas, chaps. This, that, negative. This, no. Is it on this or is it under... It's on roads. Waypoints. Road waypoint. And we'll stick that there. Right. Then pull this back up. Do that. And add that. Hey, see? I'm pretty certain you could have... Hold on. So what you're telling me is that I put the truck stop on the wrong side of the road. Roger that. Okay, thank you. Could have let me know. I'm sure you were trying to let me know, but that's okay. We've now fixed that, which possibly renders that waypoint redundant. But honestly, don't mind. Now then, Wolf. Wolf, yeah. Freight delivery. Arguably, goods delivery would be the better name for it here, given that freight is a more kind of this is bulk sort of name. Okay, now then, the reason I didn't check to see if this was in catchment or not is because obviously it's in catchment. Now then, for my next trick, we're going to hook up these roads back to the road tool of shame. There we go. Just give me some regular medium, would you? There we are. With trees. Why not? Everyone likes trees because they're nice. And then here's the scheme. Here's the notion. We've got stone here and we've got iron there. Now we use both stone and iron elsewhere on this map. Am I going to tell you? No, I'm not going to tell you. No, just stop talking about it. Get back to work. Given that I use them both, there is the possibility that we can drive some to our depot and potentially ship it back the other way. It's possible. And then what would make that even more lovely is if we did that by train. I know, because I've got a little Alco. And I like it very much. And yes, I do appear to just be using it anywhere in the world these days because I like it that much. I do need to get onto the end of this, so that's going to come out there. It's probably going to run in parallel with the bridge here. So if I stick that there... And I'm a sucker for shunting routes. All right, so there you go. That's absolutely every piece of justification covered. We can make it nice and little. We'll go with something that's got very, very low running costs, and you know, maybe it leads to a moment of delight for everybody involved, while at the same time potentially delivering a little bit of extra profit on the Wolverhampton goods bulk, as it may send stuff the other way as well. That's the idea. Whether it's got any merit at all, you know, I have no idea. Hold on. Who's griping? The Santa Ana Sawmill. The Santa Ana Sawmill does nothing but gripe. St. Anne has clearly got, you know, a lot of complicated issues she's working through. All right, let's go from there and then onto here. There we go. Yeah. Ugly? But it works. And yeah, that's good. Now, I'm going to need to send out another train here, so let's get the route up from here to there. So this is going to be the Wolf shunting experiment. Because we don't know until we try. And trying is a good thing. So back to the depot. I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did last time. I'm going to send out another mystery train that might not otherwise be used, and then I'll replace it once it gets in place. Say the word place a few more times. Right. What do we have today? Multiple unit. We could send out... can't say anything electric, which is unfortunate. But what else have we got in here that might never get used? Now, we used the T32, which is what I'm calling it. I know that's not a 3. We used that in the last series. So I feel no obligation to sending it out this time. Let's use a steam loco that I might not get around to using. I mean, frankly, you know, we've done quite a lot of Great Westerning. So, I'll tell you what though, I quite like this little shunter, but I've used a lot of little shunter. We're going to use this one. Why not? Why not indeed? 1.2 million. We'll get some of that money back as soon as it reaches its destination. Set line, wolf shunting experiment. Off you go. Jolly good show. There we go. Oh, it's in matte as well. Lovely. Very nice. It's like it's been driven by a couple of enthusiasts. They've carefully restored it. They've gained my permission to go drive it out on the main line. Hope you don't get wiped out by a big boy. Not that there are that many big boys in service now anyway. Meanwhile, back here at Wood Central, as it appears to be, we've now got 776 waiting to be processed. I should possibly rectify that. And here's the training question. Now, that's got one of those on there. So, I tell you what, I'm taking that off because we just inherited some brand new Great Westerns. I'm going to stick a Great Western on it, Steam. Right, which one of you has got... oh, hang on. You look like the business. You do look like the business. Have one of those. Good. And then these are... Of course they're naffies. Although, given that you're only taking logs and lumber, you know what? I'm going to de-naffyize you and see if we can find something more appropriate. Top speed 130, give or take a kilometre. Now then, it will be... What do you do? 120, that's acceptable. Logs, steel, planks, yes, you will do the job. The Great Western Macaw, that sounds to me like it might be the actual intended wagon for the gig. You're hired. Now then, we want 20 of those. Possibly more. That's 10. That's 10. 25. Beautiful. Replace it. Yes. Wait. Yes. Sure. Is there a black variant on this loco that we've gone for? The BRAG. Steam. The AG there meaning aging, and therefore my saying it is somewhat redundant. So 464,000. What are you? You only do 120, but what are we looking at comparatively? Actually, you're a little bit more grunty, if anything. Yeah, let's do that. We've not used. We certainly haven't used one of those. I'm assuming the BR means British Rail, but you'll correct me if I'm wrong, because even if I asked you not to, you do it anyway. Do we like that, or do we like this? No, we like that. Alright, add that. Always that worrying moment where you're not sure if it's all going to fall. I'll tell you what, yeah, I will do that. Let's have one at the front and one at the back. Now, they're not the same capacity, so the one at the front's going to be going like, come on! And the one at the back's going like, will you accelerate a little faster? But there you go. I just create some high drama there. Meanwhile, back on the Wolverhampton goods bulk, action is occurring. So, you're electric. I can't change you. Yes, I can change you. Electricity. Now then, I was going to go for an E44, probably. I say probably because there's another one. Or we've got the OP22, which I've definitely not used. The RE44 I'm pretty certain I've used before. In fact, I'm pretty certain that one comes with the game. So, the 47 comes with the game. No, I'm pretty sure the 44 does as well. We're going to go Russian. Right, 85 kilometers an hour. A heck of a lot of pulling power. But it needs to be pulling something fairly generic. Do not use the naffies. If you use the naffies, it's going to be just a significant failure, and putting a Pennsylvania flat car on it is also unwise, given that there is the potential for logs in transit. Hello there. What are you? You'll do the job. You don't carry much, though. That's a shame. But I'll tell you what, we'll have 4 of those. because you never know, they might come in handy. They might not, but we're taking them anyway. You've got these, which carry the same things, are a little bit slower. No, yes, they're a little bit slower. In fact, they're more suited to this loco. Alright, well, let's take 2 of those then, and we'll have 2 of the other one as well. It's a little older, but nobody's going to judge us on that. They'll only judge us if... Oh, you would never see these 2 together, ever. Not on a month of Sundays. Alright, you need something ubiquitous, and we're not going to take the big American boxcars, because that will look even more silly. There's the nappies, look. It does everything. It makes it all work. I don't want to use the nappies. Alright, I'll tell you what, let's have 4 of these. And then you can nappies the rest of it. And you've got a complete monster. This is the international train. Being pulled by a Russian. Got 4 Russian cars, a couple of Americans, and then whatever the heck a nappies is when it's at home. Replace it. Yes. I don't even know what capacity I've given it. That's the level of attention that I have paid to this. Also, it's not going to actually do anything until we set some trucks up. So, you know, I possibly ought to get a wriggle on them and go and make that happen. But I'm just watching the final throes of this rather magnificent and quirky little diesel number. There you are. You are magnificent and quirky. I applaud you. Oh, this one's brown. I like it. I very much like it, actually. Yeah, classic. You know what? This lot hangs together. You know, that could conceivably be a thing. And because I've conceived it, thus it is a thing. Now then, stone, ore. Is that really all we're trying to ship here? Yes, but that's not the point. And you can do that in a moment. First, you need to get some trucks making some actual deliveries to actual Wolverhampton. Right, a road depot. Let's stick it up here where it's less likely to interfere with the productive growth of the universe. And we'll go with... Did you actually set a route? Yes, you did, because you complained about it. Freight and... Right, what's new? The Maz is the big hotness right now, although we've got the Opel Blitz 60, Maz 65. We got his Russian 25. Negative on the Russian. Sorry, just not practical. Let's go with, I don't know, 6 of them. That'll do. Right, set line, Wolverhampton, freight delivery. Go. Right, then we need one more out here of a truck stop kind of a deal, because it's definitely not going to work unless I really do try and get the stone in as well. I've no idea. I frankly don't expect it to work, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to give it a try. Right, do that, do this, do that, get rid of that, do this, that one. You need one at the other end. Oh, phooey. And there, is that a connection? Close, but, well, that definitely is. All right, add this, there you go. Right, so this is the Wolf shunting experiment. Road. Good. Now, I don't need to put much on there. I'm going to go with 2. Because that should get the turnarounds swift enough while not, you know, making me mortgaged quadruple at the same time. Get that on here. Come on, there you go. Get to work. Unable to find a path-to-path stop. Oh, yeah, I suppose that's true. All right, hold on. Let me remedy that. Scroll past the endless quantities of roads. Now, to those of you who are going to say, well, why don't you just delete the mod if you're not going to use it? I would if I could find it. There we go. That should do it. You've chosen the wrong road type, but, you know, it's not going to make too much of a difference, one would hope. Right, you get back to work again. There we go. We're flying. Action. lights, camera, all of that. It's all go here, now, here. Right, now then, I'm going to put some signals on here because otherwise we're going to have a very long wait time while that Great Western kind of goes. Well, he left to go up the track about 6 months ago, and I've not seen him since. I assume he's coming back, at which point I can go. But the rules say I'm not supposed to do that. There you go. That's a little bit of role play for you there. Good. Now then, where's the next bit of signalling on there? Because we're going to need a bit of queuing space, given that we're now running 2 trains up there. Now, the queuing space I've left is not long enough. But that doesn't matter. Meanwhile, this is happening. And I tell you, from the looks of it, it's actually doing quite a breezy speed. 86 kilometers an hour. This is making a difference. The question is whether I've increased the capacity enough for this to continue to be profitable. Yeah, one at the back, one at the front. Brilliant. There's a very crude joke in there, but I'm not using it. Hold everything. How much are you going to break this junction? I think we're going to get away with it. I think we're getting away with it. We're getting away with it. We've got away with it. Right, good. Because what will typically happen when you upgrade an older to a newer is you'll end up dangling your rear end over the points, which means you can't get onto the right side of the track, and then everything breaks and a flashing thing goes off, and everyone in the comments goes, "Oh, I knew this was going to happen," because they always know it's going to happen. And then, and then where are you? Frankly, you're nowhere. You're lost. You're error in time and history. Good. Right. Now then, that's all jolly splendid. I think we shall follow the front end here as... Bye! Yeah, you get to ride at the back because you're in the dirty black engine. Meanwhile, the glorious green engine, which is called... Load, yes. Lord, maybe. Lord Star. Lord Star? Alright, pause it. We'll find out for certain. Load Star. You were right the first time. There we go. I'm jolly pleased with the rate of progress this thing makes. It certainly ticks along at a fair old rate. And that might help me out on the profit side of things. Meanwhile, heading up to the shunting experiment is Shunterson, who will now wait for some time for the piece of single track to become available to him. There will be a minor delay while he waits. And while we do so, let's have a quick look at how we're getting on here. So, as you can see, we've been in profit every year, despite the fact that I'm now spending just, without care in the world, just spending a bit of cash here and there, hither and yon. We passed the 200 million in income frame, and that's nice. Frame? Really? Is that the word you're going for? Yeah, I like it. I think it works. We spent 3 and a bit on track so far this year, and then another 27 million on vehicles. We're making good money. That's for certain. We're certainly making enough that I can continue just, larking about and having a jolly good time. Now then, let's look at routes. Wolf Shunting Experiment has 1 train. Oh, yes, but it's got no capacity. Fine. Okay, so at the top of the bill, the hub's fuel is making 17 million profit a year. To be honest, if I cut down to just these and then shelved all of the others, I'd be making a ton more cash. But that's not why we do it. We do it so that we can afford ridiculous experiments like this at the same time. If I just wanted to win the game, I'd win it. Hooray. And then pat myself on the back and go, now what? So instead, I lark about. Right, now then, as we get down towards the break-even point, which is, what's that, 3/4 of the way down? Before we start finding stuff that isn't making money. As ever, trams. We've got some trucks that aren't doing so hot. Actually, quite a lot of trucks that aren't doing so hot. It's the road stuff that doesn't do so well. And then this won't be carrying anything yet. Then right at the bottom, Detroit Bulk Freight. Now, Detroit Bulk Freight used to be one of the big earners, and this is where the question of what happened to the stone kind of initially reared its head, because it now only carries freight in one direction, and it's not making enough for that to work. Brussels also was quite profitable. Here we go, down here, look. Was quite profitable a while ago, and I guess it's now just not carrying enough stuff because demand has picked up elsewhere and they're getting higher priority. So I need to look at routing more goods into the main hubs in order to start meeting demand a little bit better. And we'll know that that's working when there's a good backlog of stuff sat at the station, and we can adapt accordingly. Sioux Falls freight delivery, yeah, that's understandable. It's the trains I'm more concerned about. So the Euroloop Widdershins is 51 years old. That explains that. Although it just disappeared. No, it's still there, look. But it's only lost 150 grand. It's not like it's going out of business. Barcelona Transatlantic probably got one too many trains on there given the number of passengers on board. Goods Bulk isn't carrying enough to be profitable. That's the one just down the way near the hub. I'll have a look at that next time. International Construction Materials not shipping enough consistently. Hopefully this uprated wood setup that we've got here will help with that. Good, okay. This is, you know, there's... When you've only got 2 trains that are losing $1 million a year, that's nothing to be ashamed of. Meanwhile, let's get back on here. And then we'll... yeah, I know. You switch it off just as you're following it going over the bridge. What a perfect piece of timing. Right, now then, Alco. No, hold on. 90 kilometres an hour versus 80 kilometres an hour. I don't know what this is for. It's got plenty of... You know what? You're hired. Let's have one of those. And then freight wagons. It's bringing back stone and iron ore. Possibly, if it wants to. It's under no obligation to do so and is probably not going to. Stone, iron ore, right, we can take this flat car here. It's essentially a flat car with sidewalls. Well, that's fine. We've used the GWRs quite extensively, so we won't go for those. We'll see if we've got anything else that could do the job that I haven't used recently. Open wagon, iron ore and stone, 8 capacity. That'd do it. It's not the most exciting, though. I want something that's got just a little bit of drama. I mean, that's ancient, so maybe not. Actually, it only does 64 kilometres an hour as well. So let's... I don't want to use the Great Westerns. You've used them enough. The wooden gondola is too big for this particular encounter. Just buy them. Right, what do you think? 5? 8. There we go. Replace now. Let's do it. Okay, right, there we are. So this is experimental. We're now in situ. We're now in on the track that we were always destined to be on. The big question's going to be, is it going to do anything? You can put your answers on a postcard or a napkin. I've got some napkins. I was going to do Dan's napkins today because he sent a packet full. But I didn't quite get around to it. I forgot. But they're here, look. And they're very colourful. So I'll do them first in the next episode. Thanks very much for watching today. I have been Colonel Failure. Why do you not subscribe to this channel? And because that will be lovely. And fling a like at this one if you enjoyed it. Where are the trucks? Oh, there's one now. Here we go. This is a jolly unconventional looking train. I'm going to use it in the thumbnail for this video, and therefore I want to find the perfect place to make a nice photo. And it's going to be about here. About there is good. Look, too close, too close, too close, too close, too close, there, about there. That's the ticket. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you very soon. Should we follow it? Let's follow it. Cheerio!